is CTV News.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. Talks over a contentious hate speech bill were at the forefront of a town hall this evening. Conservative members of Parliament from across our region gathering to share their concerns about Bill C9. Pardon me. CTV's Robert Lothian was in attendance and joins us now. Robert, what's their concern here?
Yeah, well, Michelle, the Conservative Party fears this bill will further blur the lines between curbing hate and trampling free speech. Tonight, a London area MP gathered with other southwestern Ontario MPs here in Windsor to share that message with residents.
This is a bill that in its current form removes long-standing protections that people of faith have enjoyed, but it's freedom of expression in general that's engaged by this.
About 200 people gathered at the Chicharo Club to listen to the MPs and share sharing concerns over Bill C9. Many spoke out over fears the bill could lead to more censorship. A rollout of new criminal offenses is intended to address growing acts and statements of hate. The Tories have aggressively pushed back against a clause removing religious exemptions from hate speech laws. Lawton feels Canada already has the laws in place to address the hate that's being seen. There just needs to be better enforcement.
When people are threatening violence, when people are blocking or obstructing access to holy sites, that we are enforcing laws that exist there. And on speech itself, we have a threshold that has been working in Canada for many decades, that the Supreme Court has fine-tuned over many years. So our view is that we don't need to reinvent the wheel when we have an existing legal standard that has been working and that has provided a level of clarity to law enforcement and to courts.
Major changes to Bill C9 look unlikely at this point. It recently passed a final vote in the House of Commons and now continues on to the Senate. Still, Lawton is hopeful senators might see these concerns and send the bill back for amendments. Michelle.
All right, thanks so much, Robert. Robert Lothian reporting for us tonight in the newsroom. A 49-year-old motorcyclist has been taken to hospital in London after being involved in a collision in Chatham, Kent. It happened yesterday afternoon on Queen's Line when the bike collided with an SUV. Police are hoping to speak to anyone who witnessed the collision between Drake and Dillon Rhodes. Meantime, Windsor police are investigating a violent home invasion in the 600 block of Radisson Court. It's a quiet cul-de-sac in South Windsor, but police say 3 armed suspects forced their way into an unspecified home. One resident was assaulted, another dragged while trying to escape. Their injuries aren't life-threatening. However, the suspects stole cash and jewelry from a safe and fled in a 1973 red Ford Mustang. The vehicle, a shotgun, and some of the cash has already been recovered by police, but they are looking for all of the suspects. You'll find their descriptions on our website, ctvnewswindsor.ca. A Windsor jury started their deliberations around 4:30 this afternoon after hearing 2 weeks of evidence. They're now sequestered for the night and will resume their deliberations in the morning. CTV's Stephanie Mazzotti reports on today's closing arguments.
In Superior Court Tuesday, the defense concluded its arguments, saying this tragic case is of a father fighting for his 6-year-old daughter after she was taken out of the country without his consent. The defense reminded the jury, according to Kalu, moments before the shooting on November 28th of 2022 on Hannah Street, Squalls told him, "I'm her daddy now, and you would never see her again. What are you going to do about it?" That filled Kalu with rage, reacting from then on in a heat of passion, firing 15 gunshots and ultimately killing Squalls. The defense recounts Kalu admits to killing Squalls, but he says there was no intent, therefore asking the jury to find him guilty of manslaughter. As for the Crown, they replayed surveillance video of the men interacting that afternoon up to the first gunshot. At the heart of the issue, the Crown says it comes down to the conversation between the 2 men before Squalls was shot. They say claims Squalls said, "I'm her daddy now and you will never see her again," while Kalu was pointing his gun did not make sense, arguing those statements were never said. They also noted there was not enough time to exchange those words from the moment Kalu retrieved the gun from his car to the shots being fired. Therefore, the Crown advising the jury Kalu's actions had intent and that he should be found guilty of second-degree murder beyond a reasonable doubt. Both men have a daughter affair with the same woman. The jury heard the relationship was volatile, with dozens of physical altercations, death threats, and shots fired over the well-being of Kalu's daughter, as there was no custody agreement in place. Stephanie Mazzotti, CTV News.
Let's totally switch gears now and move on to some sports with your Windsor Spitfires up the 401, taking on the Guelph Storm in Game 3 of the playoffs.
For the first one, lane opening up here, fired in there, they score. Tipped home right in the blue paint.
Rookie John McLaughlin got Windsor on the board first in the first period at the Sleeman Center up in Guelph. The Storm would score one in the second, but it was called offside, and removed from the scoreboard. Then in the dying minutes of the game, Guelph pulled their goalie to put on the extra attacker. John McLaughlin would score the empty netter to give Windsor a 2-0 lead. Guelph would spoil the shutout win for goaltender Joey Costanzo, netting a goal with less than a minute to play in the game. Still, Windsor wins 2-1 with Game 4 Thursday in Guelph. And Italian soccer fans in Windsor learned they will spend another World Cup with their team on the sidelines. Sadness and disappointment today for fans at the Caboto Club. That's where about 150 people gathered this afternoon to cheer on Italy in its loss to Bosnia and Herzegovina. Italy will miss out on its third consecutive World Cup. Instead, it's Bosnia and Herzegovina who will take on Canada in the Cup's opening round in Toronto.
The tickets were so expensive as well to buy, so we didn't know though that Italy was going to make it, and now to know that it's not there, it's really disappointing. It's so close coming to Toronto, Ontario, and we don't, get to see our country.
We have more tonight on the upper levels of government offering incentives to spur new home construction. However, it comes with a catch. Municipalities have to cut development charges. We sent our Bob Belichico out to gauge local reaction to that part of the deal.
Funding will be prioritized for municipalities that agreed to cut DCs by up to 50%.
Over the next 10 years, municipalities have an opportunity to tap into $8.8 billion of funding to lower development charges, but it comes with a catch.
To all my great 444 mayors and people in the municipalities, if you don't cut DCs, you aren't getting any money.
Development charges help municipalities pay for infrastructure like sewers, transit, and roads, but these charges drive up costs.
We know that this added cost at this particular point in time, especially when there's the layer of uncertainty out there, is pausing a lot of development projects from moving forward.
A report due next month focuses on Windsor's ability to freeze development charges.
Getting the project started is good because we know there'll be money coming from the province and the federal government to help support the development charges that we would freeze for this discrete period of time, and then we would be the beneficiary from property taxes in perpetuity.
Windsor Mayor Drew Dilkin says the development charges for the Sandwich South lands does not play into the equation.
In Windsor, we have two different development charge rates. One development charge rate for the whole city except Sandwich South, and then one development charge rate for the Sandwich South lands.
Lakeshore Mayor Tracy Bailey tells CTV News without development charges, costs could shift to taxpayers, and a fair balance is needed. In Amherstburg, Mayor Michael Prue is reserving judgment. He says the town is awaiting information from the Association of Municipalities of Ontario to determine what the regulations will encompass. He said development charges vary across the province and not enough is known about how the Ford government would reimburse individual municipalities.
We mainly focus with commercial and industrial clients. This is really going to help our customers reduce overall charges and reduce government fees on their projects.
Local builders are hoping the money comes to fruition.
When we're building projects, we're building factories that provide new jobs. We're doing expansions that provide jobs, or even small commercial areas that have a couple spin-off retail jobs that are great. Like, everything's important.
Bob Belichico, CTV News.
From home construction to road work, our Chris Campbell went out to Leamington to gauge motorist reaction to not one but two projects underway on the same major road.
Work on this new roundabout at Seacliff Drive West is underway earlier than expected, but as construction ramps up, so are the disruptions for people who live and drive in the area. Donna Jacobs, who lives just steps away, says she's feeling it firsthand.
I'll be glad when it's over, because I live 2 doors down.
She says access has already been an issue at times.
As long as they don't block my driveway again, I'm fine.
Starting in mid-April, the road will be closed to through traffic for about 4 weeks, with detours in place. Between now and then, Seacliff West will only be open to traffic at night. For some, that's meant longer drives and heavier traffic on nearby streets.
It affects us quite a bit because when we try to get off our little street onto Oak, all the traffic has been rerouted so that it goes east and west on Oak. So it's a bit of a hassle.
Traffic gets backed up, I would say, almost a kilometer at peak times.
Still, many residents say the inconvenience is temporary and worth it in the long run.
We've gotten used to it. It's nice to see that our town is keeping up with the progress and trying to make it safe.
Others see the project as part of bigger growth happening across the community.
It's progress, right? And we can't build new homes, we can't do any of that if we don't have the infrastructure.
Anna Wilds points to increasing traffic as a sign the town is evolving.
Leamington has really been able to do things again because it was on hold for so long after Hines closed. You know, and now Highbury is doing fine. The roads are being fixed, the subdivisions are being built. Elbows up for Leamington.
While not everyone is directly impacted, there's a general sense the project is necessary.
Well, I guess it's got to be done.
It's a good development for the city, for the municipality, and I'm looking forward to the completion of it.
In a release, town officials say we recognize this work will impact travel in the area and appreciate the community's continued patience as we move toward completing this important infrastructure project. For now, drivers are being urged to plan ahead, follow detours, and be patient as construction continues.
I'm sure it'll be worth it.
You have to pay the price. That's all there is to it.
In Leamington, Chris Campbell, CTV News.
Meantime, traffic disruptions ramping up in LaSalle as well. Crews are working on a major storm sewer reconstruction in that town. Drivers can expect added lane restrictions, closures, and detours between Beaumier Avenue and Ream Road. Despite delays, the town says $7.9 million in flood mitigation project is essential and on track to wrap up this phase by June. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald has your full weather details coming up in 2 minutes' time. And want to save money crossing the border? Stay with us. We have the details on toll discounts later in our newscast. As promised, here's CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald with your full look at the weather. Hi, Gary.
Hi, Michelle. Well, we are looking at the big picture of unsettled conditions with rain, vicinity thunderstorms this evening. We've been on the receiving end of that. This warm air certainly dominated earlier today, along with the very gusty front. This gust front brought the wind values close to about 60K in terms of the highest gusts. Sustained winds 35 to about 45. So we didn't set a record for daytime temperatures, but 23.4 is mid-May-like. And the low today was close to 16. Our average low is 0.2, average high is 9. And look at all the showers and thunderstorms that moved through southern Ontario. That pinkish hue and the salmon color, that's a wintry type mix. I should say a spring mix because we can get freezing rain and ice pellets and snow in spring. So a spring mix of icy precipitation. We're certainly warm enough that we'll see waves of rain, though, next 2, maybe 3 days straight. And this rainfall graphic gives you an idea. The worst of it in terms of the heaviest bands will be stateside, I would say, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, towards Pennsylvania. So the south shores of Lake Erie will be perhaps the closest that the heavy bands and maybe even thunderstorms, the worst of for tomorrow, will be. So that's some good news, but we are going to continue to see some rain. The overnight temperature is a very balmy 8. Again, the average would be closer to just above the freezing mark, less than +1, but still above freezing. The temperatures do drop off significantly now that the cold front that ushered in the storms, it was the trigger for it, has pushed, if you will, the warm air well to our east. We're now in the midst of a much cooler air mass. Cloudy tomorrow to start, 5 degrees at 8 o'clock in the morning, maybe 8 degrees around 3 p.m. for your high. And winds out of the northwest, perhaps sustained at 30 km. So it could be gusty with showers tomorrow in the late afternoon with maybe even some thunderstorm activity. Then we'll warm up again, warming up significantly with showers, a good possibility, 16, the high on Thursday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're talking about Good Friday, the Holy Holiday, 24. That is warm with showers, more rain, and still mild, but decreasing in terms of temperatures for Saturday, 19. That's just cooler, and then some recovery. Sunday, Easter Bunny, Easter egg hunt day, cool and wet, gray. Sunshine returns Monday, Tuesday, up to maybe 7 or 8. Whew. It is really a volatile state of weather of late. That rhymes. Have yourselves a good night. Michelle?
Thanks, Gary. Well, we're just under 24 hours before the next launch window opens for the Artemis II mission that will blast Canada's Jeremy Hansen and 3 other astronauts around the moon, and back. If all goes according to plan this time, the crew will take off tomorrow night. CTV's Heather Wright is at Cape Canaveral to witness history and the lead up to it.
With every second that passes, the Artemis II gets closer to liftoff.
There was a lot of smiles today, so felt really good about that. As the team is preparing, I think everybody's pretty excited and understands the significance of this launch.
The team has spent the day doing a number of final checks to the spacecraft, which will soon embark on a 10-day mission around the moon, while the astronauts, including Canadian Jeremy Hansen, remain in quarantine, waiting for tomorrow's planned launch.
He'll be spending time with people who are really close to him, family, and he's probably going to be going to bed really early and sleep shifting so that they can get on the schedule they'll be on for this moon mission. Now, whether or not he'll be successful, I don't know. Do you think you'd be able to sleep if you were going to the moon the next morning?
Joshua Kutrick is a Canadian astronaut who says a lot needs to go right for a successful liftoff tomorrow.
It's immensely complicated. It is the most powerful rocket that's ever been built, and it's full of millions of high-tech components. So technologically, this is a very big challenge.
And the challenges are only going to grow, with NASA unveiling ambitious plans for space exploration, including a moon base by 2030.
I think of this as just the opening chapter in a grand story of astronauts going to and from the moon with great frequency.
To achieve those goals, NASA Administrator Jarek Isaacman says collaborating with international partners like Canada will be critical.
Canada is leaning forward with robotic expertise for our ambitions on the lunar surface. It's exciting to think about the potential when you're not just going to the moon for a couple of days, but actually trying to create an enduring presence for, its scientific and economic potential.
Canada's partnership with NASA dates back decades, with Hansen set to become the first non-American to travel to deep space.
It is space diplomacy, and Jeremy is emblematic of that.
Absolutely.
He brings a huge, powerful capability, but it's also the whole country and our industrial capabilities, what we bring to the table. That's why we're here.
The launch window officially opens at 6:24 p.m. tomorrow. And while officials say there is an 80% chance of favorable weather, these strong winds and cumulus clouds are in the forecast, something NASA's weather officer will be keeping a close eye on as we get closer to liftoff. Heather Wright, CTV News, Cape Canaveral, Florida.
While you patiently await the opening of the Gordie Howe International Bridge, you can now apply to save on tolls. The Breakaway Toll Discount Program is now available for all travelers. The prepaid program is similar to the Nexpress over at the tunnel. Users can have up to 4 vehicle tags on a single account. The tags themselves are free, but an initial deposit of $20 is required. Now, once the bridge opens, allegedly sometime this spring, $50 will be required. That will be the account's starting balance for future tolls. As an added incentive, the first 1,000 people to register will receive a commemorative hockey card as part of their welcome package. The Breakaway program offers discounts of 25% on tolls. Meantime, Windsor's Legacy Beacon and streetcar number 351 will reopen to the public starting Friday, May 1st. The site closed for the winter in October after drawing more than 27,000 visitors during its first 6-month run. City officials say a returning vendor will again offer snacks and drinks, and new programming, including live music and community events, are also on deck to bring more people to the waterfront.
It's really a good opportunity for family and tourists and just residents to come out, like I said, enjoy that beautiful waterfront view, but also come and learn and discover a little bit more about our transportation history within the city of Windsor.
Another step forward for the Ojibwe National Urban Park. Parks Canada has approved, in principle, the formal land agreement. It paves the way for the lands to be protected for conservation and public enjoyment. Windsor Mayor Drew Dilkins hopeful an official declaration will happen sometime in 2026.
This ought not to be a difficult task now, and certainly Parks Canada has been really great to work with. We've had some wonderful partners around the table. There's a good spirit of cooperation, and I expect we can get this done in the coming months and really realize that dream that we've had for many years now of creating the Ojibwe National Urban Park.
On the markets, the TSX climbed 833 points. In New York, the Dow added more than 1,100. The Nasdaq up 796. The Canadian dollar lost 0.07 of a cent. And on commodity markets, gold gained more than $121 an ounce. Oil fell $1.50 a barrel.
Start your day with the latest local news. By signing up for our newsletter, you'll get direct local content straight from CTV Windsor to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewswindsor.ca.
A London man was convicted of manslaughter today for selling drugs that led to a woman's death 3 years ago. With more on the judge's reasonings, here's CTV's Rita Ismail.
Inside a London courtroom, Justice Mark Garson found 35-year-old Jordan Cawley guilty of manslaughter and criminal negligence causing death. The charges stem from the death of Christina Bestward in May of 2023. The court heard Bestward died inside her central London home after she and her spouse Daniel Gale consumed cocaine purchased from Mr. Cawley. During his ruling, Justice Garson delivered a warning to street-level drug dealers, saying it does not matter if JC, Mr. Cawley, believed he was trafficking cocaine. It is irrelevant whether JC knew he was trafficking cocaine laced with fentanyl. Both are controlled substances. A mistaken belief that the substance trafficked was pure cocaine would not constitute a defense. During the trial, the court heard expert testimony that showed both fentanyl and cocaine were present in Bestward's system at the time of her death. The 41-year-old mother died from multi-drug toxicity. Gale also overdosed but survived after being rushed to the hospital. Justice Garson rejected the defense argument that the drugs could have been purchased elsewhere, noting evidence showed Cawley had been the couple's cocaine supplier for nearly 2 years. The judge said the evidence clearly and convincingly established that Cawley trafficked cocaine contaminated with fentanyl. A sentencing date has not yet been set. In the meantime, Cawley remains out on bail wearing an ankle monitor. Rita Ismail, CTV News.
Today is the deadline for Canadians to submit a declaration to take part in the federal government's assault-style firearms compensation program. The program is open to all individual gun owners in Canada who have firearms which were prohibited in May of 2020, December of 2024, or March of 2025. The weapons have to have been acquired before the date they were prohibited. The government is advising people that while taking part in the buyback program is voluntary, compliance with the law is not. Individual owners are being told that all assault-style guns must be disposed of or permanently deactivated before the amnesty period ends on October 30th.
Discussion here at Windsor City Hall.
Windsor's top stories.
A major project is about to get underway.
Breaking news alerts.
Severe weather is a possibility.
And watch live.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Download the CTV News app.
The nominations are in for this year's Wespys. The nominees unveiled today, with the award winners to be unveiled next month. Taking the nod for Volunteers of the Year, Nicole Coffey with the Windsor Clippers and Warlocks Lacrosse, along with Ben Balkwell for his work in the track and swimming fields. Team of the Year could go between St. Clair's women's soccer, University men's volleyball, or the Windsor Selects ball team.
It's about the athletes and teams, and I'm excited for them. I think they get excited. The reaction we get from the athletes is phenomenal, and that's what's really exciting about all of this. The speaker adds to it, but it's really about the athletes and teams.
And let's check in one final time with CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald.
There is hope that we will get through at least the next couple of days with some breaks in between from the rain. It's not looking so great, at least from this vantage point. Yes, we're cooler tomorrow. We still are looking at some showers late in the day. I think the morning, midday is cloudy, so it won't likely be wet until at least maybe 5, 6 p.m. Showers, though, likely on a warmer day, Thursday up to 16. Unbelievable to see 24 when our average high is closer to 10 degrees Celsius, but that's the projection on Good Friday. Then some more showers, cooling off, but still very warm on Saturday, 19. But then the next cold front of real significance in terms of cooling us off is on Easter Sunday, a wet day likely as of right now. Monday, sunny, warming up to 8, 7. So next week, we're going to be below seasonal after being, wow, well above seasonal. Last little stretch. Keep the umbrellas nearby. Have yourselves a good night. Enjoy your weather. Michelle?
Thanks, Gary. Well, do you want to help the Humane Society? We'll raise a glass to that. Peely Island Winery has launched a limited edition collection of wines to celebrate 100 years for the Windsor-Essex County Humane Society. $1 from the sale of the Cab Merlot, Chardonnay, or sparkling Prosecco will benefit the Society. They're all available at retail locations and online. That's all the time we have for now. Thanks so much for supporting local news. I'll see you right back here tomorrow night at 11. Good night.